Hey, how's it going? I was just editing this live stream down into its, the usual stream recap, and I couldn't get through it without recording this message. Essentially, this video is going to be just the Q&A section at the start of the stream, but the two main topics for the stream will be posted as separate videos, and I think rather than repeating the same content in multiple videos, we're going to split them apart. Makes this part awkward, but there's about an hour for the studio tour, which will be posted in a couple of days. And the DD101 drum machine, that is already posted as its own video. So this is just a shorter Q&A section, just to keep the series complete of the stream edits. Anyways, enough rambling. Enjoy the video. Have I tried the Reaper 7 pre-release? Any thoughts? I have downloaded it, had it installed. I was just doing business as usual, not really trying any of the new features. Yeah, so far so good. It seemed fine. No worse than Reaper 6. Not buggy or anything like that. But I think there is still a lot of work to go on the theme, especially making that seem like cohesive and complete and not missing any features from the Reaper 6 theme. And I think we're not there yet. There are a lot of people actively testing the certain features in Reaper 7 in the forum, and it's great that they are doing that. I don't have the time to do it, unfortunately. I think it'll be a good update. It's not really sure if this is something that's going to be released in a month, less than a month, or 6 months from now. I think there's still quite a bit of work to go into it. But it's cool that they have officially, ticked over the version number in the development builds. I think it's awesome. Very exciting. I would actually kind of like to talk about or possibly plan some videos, video topics. I kind of know what should be covered, what features to do deep dives on, but I'm also kind of curious what you guys would specifically want a video on. So I was thinking the take system needs a new video. The theme would need a new video. A quick start, just general, how to get into Reaper, maybe 1 hour. What can you do? Or maybe a guide for people that are updating, these sorts of things. And there may be a lot of overlap and repeating things each time, but I think it's kind of necessary at this big version number update. So let me know. If there's any specific things, or maybe you guys don't know any of the features yet, but do I still use ChatGPT for scripts? I haven't needed to. I don't have a problem with using ChatGPT for scripts. Nothing's really changed there with since my video on it about using that. So as long as you can ask the right questions, I think you can get good results with it. Don't kind of blindly follow its suggestions. I hope they implement non-destructive media item glue of media items effects in Reaper 7. I haven't seen anything related to that in the changes, so I think not. New take lane system and the theme layouts would be a good start for sure. Yeah, so at the bare minimum, those features need to be covered. The theme, where things have moved to, what sort of rules they have. And this is something that's still actively in development. The White Tie still needs to make the script to control it, like how Reaper 6 theme had that script. It's only partially built right now. There's none of the layouts really built there yet. And to be honest, I forget some of the other features that are in this update. Those are the two big things, like new theme and the take system. I'm migrating from Logic to Reaper, and your guides have been amazing. Thank you so much. Just one question. Where can I find some icons to set my MIDI editor like you have it? I'm not sure what icons I'm really using. I think all the icons I've got are pretty basic. Like a lot of these, like these numbered ones or the names, these are just named toolbar icons. I don't think anything else here is really custom or anything like that. Let me customize this. So if I go to one of these, this is my entire library of icons. It's not really that much. There's a few custom ones here that I basically did for a video thumbnail. Where could you get these? Stash.reaper.fm. Maybe you just search for icon. Yeah, orchestral icons, hand tool icons. So there's tons of stuff you can download here. So I would suggest doing that if you're looking for more icons. You can always make your own as well. Yeah, that's where I would start. What is the zoom full arrangement macro that you made again? Zoom full arrangement macro. Yeah, so if I'm in my arrange view and I press Alt A, it does this. I think that might be the one. Let's add in a bunch of tracks. It's too many tracks, and I do Alt A. It doesn't change the height, but I think I did have an action for that. Zoom project. Custom zoom full project. I think that's probably the one. And so that custom action, SWS save current track selection, track select all tracks, SWS vertical zoom to select tracks, view zoom out project, SWS restore saved track selection. The save track selection thing, that's so you just don't lose your place. So if I have track 12 selected or track 8 selected, and then I run that action to zoom full project, I'm like this, let's say, zoom full project. This track is going to stay selected. I didn't lose selections or anything because the select all is part of that command. John, I use an Xtouch 1 and the scrub wheel goes a bit crazy when used with video. Do you use it that way? Any tips to configure it? I'm using CSI extension right now, and I haven't noticed the scrub wheel working too crazy, but I can show you my settings for scrub and seek. I don't actually use scrub in kind of the intended way. I use it only to move the edit cursor. Off, only play selected tracks. Off, scrub jog when moving edit cursor via action control surface. Max jog rate 1. Everything off, essentially. Controller sensitivity set to 3. In CSI, I'll have to check what it's actually assigned to because I don't actually know. So just whatever the CSI scrub function is, that's what I use. Here's how it looks. Now, specifically with video, if we right click here and performance tweaks, I've got this action disabled, aggressively update video during arrange edit / scrolls. And that maybe makes a difference. I use it basically just to move the edit cursor by like the grid divisions. I think that's what it does. No, it does like one measure regardless. And just for me, that's the quickest way. And I don't want to hear the sound change as I scrub. That might not be what you're looking for, but hopefully that helps a little bit. Multiple main keyboard sections in Reaper 7, some thoughts about using it. That's one that I think there is a good reason for it, but I think it's also a lot of hassle for users. It breaks a lot of custom actions, or potentially breaks a lot of custom actions. It definitely did one for me. For MIDI editor, they haven't implemented the multiple main keyboard thing for... Okay, so let's just start from the beginning. I'll show you what's in Reaper 6. In the action list, there are things like mouse modifiers. Search for mouse modifier. We've got hundreds of actions starting with set default mouse modifier action. In Reaper 7, all of this will be gone. Great, that cleans up the action list. However, we also lose the functions to do that. So there's going to be a couple different actions in here, or maybe sections in the action list, so that we can configure defaults, or like a couple different swaps for mouse modifiers. What these actions do allow you to change what this line in each of these mouse modifiers. And I use that for fast edit mode. And I use that for in the MIDI editor while editing during playback, the play cursor moves or not. First, I had a custom action that just changed the mouse modifier. And then I tried the Reaper betas and that function was taken out, so I had to script around it. The way that it's set up currently in the Reaper 7 betas, mouse modifiers section of the MIDI editor just doesn't exist. These set default mouse modifiers, these don't exist, and a workaround does not yet exist other than scripting. So hopefully They make that user-friendly. I know that they're changing the syntax of the thing. So I've got this cycle action here, or that's one way of doing it, but you have to script it. They're changing some of the API names and stuff. So instead of CTX MIDI piano roll, I think it's just going to be MIDI piano roll click, something like that. Just slightly better, but it still requires scripting. So that's a big like no-go for 90% of users. That's not great, but I think there's still time to get around that, to fix that issue. I'm looking to use Reaper in a live setting. What are some options for switching songs and live looping? Live looping is a tricky thing. It is not ideal to use like Reaper's transport, loop, and record functions as a looper. It almost always messes things up, or you'll get like little clips that don't loop correctly. Using a third-party plugin made for that, or even Reaper's Super 8 plugin with a foot switch is the best way to do a looping function. Otherwise, use like a RC20, RC30, one of those Boss pedals made for live looping. That's the best option. Reaper's transport system it has buffers. It's not meant for live looping. For other live features, switching songs, go to next region. That's the most common way I see. You can also set up a web remote. So I've got that Reaper web remote builder, and it will automatically see all of your project markers and regions. So there's just a tap on a phone or on an iPad, and you can jump to the next song. SWS action markers can be used to automatically go between the end of a song into sort of a pause area where the transport keeps running and it just loops a section. And then when you're ready, you can press a button and it jumps over to the next region and starts playing. I'm going to go to the extensions menu, go to SWS options, enable marker actions, and then you would take your action list, find something like pause or go marker, let's say marker 17, right click, copy selected command ID, and you make a marker, exclamation point, paste in the number. Well, you can see that clearly. Then we need a marker 17, which we'll put in here. Just number this number 17. And so let's say right before here is the song end. The song's playing. It gets to this point and it jumps over to marker 17. So you can set up things like that, whether it's markers, regions. You can have a time selection, and with looping turned on, it's just going to repeat this section, but it shouldn't like mute your guitars or anything like that, or glitch when it's in pause, or not in pause, but like in loop. Yeah, so let's say with something like this. We play here, play from before. It jumps ahead, and then it's just repeating in this area. It could just be a silent area. And then when you're finally done, it could just jump over to the next marker or something like that. That could be pressing a button on an iPad. It could be hitting a foot switch. Davi was saying, actually for live, there are better suited DAWs. Yeah, Ableton Live. That's a very common one. I wouldn't trust it for playing back large amounts of audio tracks or for recording multi-tracks really. But for live control of audio, manipulating it with controllers, that's a great option. Okay, well, I think we have 2 videos made today, hopefully. I don't know. Getting tired. It's 12 o'clock here. I got a call at 12:30, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up right now. Thank you all so much for joining the stream today. I wish I could say thanks at the same screen. We'll come back for that. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. If you want to have your studio roasted or critiqued or whatever you want to call it, submit your photos. Use the form on the website, the contact form on my website. Link to an Imgur or Dropbox collection of photos, and we will do it on an upcoming stream. I think that would be a lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully you will think it's fun as well. All right. Yeah, that's it for this week. See you next week. I don't have anything else to say. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.